Thank you guys so much for coming. Let's see if I can change this, because that's not the beginning slide. So one of the things that we're trying to do with this whole Startup Con is really reach each individual person. And I really hope that you guys feel that. I know when we were setting everything up, it was a little crazy. I really tried to have one-on-one conversations with each person. When me and Camden came up with this idea to host this event, I really wanted it to be about the people that attended and have it be about you guys. And so on our website, you'll see it's about you. It's about your business. It's about your entrepreneurship journey. It's about, you succeeding, right? And I think I've had a chance to talk to several of you guys about your guys' business and what we do. So, again, my name is Beau Bennett. I'm the Director of Operations at Interweave Solutions. So we have a booth out there. We're essentially an international nonprofit organization that teaches people how to start and grow their own business. So when I first came up with this idea, I was actually a part of a group here at UVU called Enactus. So Enactus was a social entrepreneurship organization where they taught people all around the world how to essentially start and grow their own business, right? And so I went to Congo and started a solar panel phone charging kiosk, and I helped them there, and we presented on a stage similar to this, and we were judged by VPs and executives from Fortune 500 companies. So a little bit of a different audience, but then they would grill us with questions afterward. How did you do this? What's the profit margins? You're helping people around the world, but who are you helping in your own community? And that question, right, that question resonated with me. I'm helping people all over the world. I've gone to Africa 7 times this year already, and how am I helping people in my own community? And so I called Camden and I said, hey, I want to do this. I want to do this event. And so bad do I want to help people in my own community. If this is going to work anywhere around the whole world, it's going to work here in Utah because we have the best entrepreneurship culture. We have networks. We have individuals that are willing to give. And so I was like, if it's going to work anywhere, it's going to work here. And so when I talked to Camden, he was like, yeah, I'm totally on board. And I think at that point, I think Camden thought I was just a little bit joking, right, that he wasn't completely all in. Until I started making a website and I started doing this and I started getting contacts and I reached out to Jess Toulson, who you'll be hearing from later, Sam Taggart, who you'll be hearing from later, Davis Smith, which is tomorrow, and these people were like, yeah, I'm all in. I love this. This is great. I'm here. And it started to come together. And then once it started coming, I was like, wow, we're really doing this. And so thank you for being here. I want you to feel like these booths and us really care about who you are, okay? But I want to set the tone for this conference and lay expectations for these next 2 days. Because a lot of conferences you go to, and by raise of hands, because I can see everyone still, by raise of hands, who has gone to the Impact Summit or Silicon Slopes, the Tech Summit? Okay? So a handful of you guys, okay? I don't know about you, but whenever I go, I love hearing Dwayne Wade speak. I love hearing, these individuals speak that have a lot of money and super successful. Tim Cook, I think that's super cool. I think it's great. But I don't know how it's going to help me in my business. I don't know how I hear from Apple, doing this, going there is going to help me in my business. So I'd rather go to something that will actually help me. And so every speaker and every booth member, either I've talked to them or Camden has talked to them about our expectations moving forward. And setting up this event, we've actually turned down, and my girlfriend jokes because I talk about finances pretty openly, we've actually turned down thousands of dollars because the booths out there, right, they're like, hey, I want a booth. I'm like, hey, cool. Tell me how your business is going to help this entrepreneur. Oh, well, it's just a product. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you're doing fantastic work. I love what you're doing, but it's not the right fit. And we've done that several times, right? They're creating great businesses, fantastic. They're making revenue and everything. But I want our booth section, the speakers, everyone around this conference to be about you guys. And that's a very hard decision when you're first starting anything, right? First starting a business or first starting this conference to just, I'm going to put that aside for a second. It's really hard to do, but I want it so bad, okay? So that's the first expectation, as I want you guys to understand that this conference is literally for you guys, okay? The second is when I talk to these speakers, and these panelists that you're going to hear from in the next 2 days, I want there to be vulnerability. I want them to tell you their hardships. I want them to tell you what they've been through so that you guys can know that you guys can do that exact same thing, right? I think a lot of times when we hear Tim Cook or Dwayne Wade speak or Ashton Kutcher, it's great, it's cool, it's inspiring, but they can't relate to me. They don't know, but they can, right? And so I wanted them to tell their story, right? We have Eric Little, who's speaking later today at 4, right? If you've heard of like the Tribe, they put on like UVU NY, and they put on Little John, and they put on all these DJ events. During COVID, he was fined $60,000 for putting on an event, right? He's 26 years old, I think. That's a lot of money, right? And so I want him to tell that story, right? How he was able to financially recover from that. So I wanted to kind of lay that foundation. And moving forward, I want to do an activity real quick. And this clicker's not working, by the way. I want to do an activity. So I want everyone to stand up real quick with me. So everyone stand up, because what's going to happen is you guys are going to start today. You guys are going to go throughout this networking and talk to each other. And honestly, networking is really hard. Networking can be really scary and really worrisome. And how do I talk? And how do I do this, right? And it's worrisome. So what we're going to do, and this is science, right? If you stand in the Superman position, right, with your hands on your hips, just like this, okay, 1 minute before an interview, right, you'll have more confidence. You'll exuberate more confidence. You'll know what you're talking about, okay? So I want everyone to stand, and we're going to do this all together, because I want everyone to stand really tall, but I want you guys to think about, as you guys do this, I will what, right? In this 2-day conference, I will talk to people. I will network. I will find one person that can help my business, okay? I really want you to think of I will, whatever your business needs, right? I will find that investor. I will find that marketing company, whatever it is, okay? So I want everyone to stand like this, okay? And on the count of 3, we're going to do this together. I want you guys to say I will, okay? But not so much of like, I will, like shy. Like I want them down the hall to hear you guys say this. Does that make sense? Okay? You guys are now exuberating this confidence, like this guy. Perfect. Right? Right? This confidence. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. I will. Okay, we're going to do it one more time. And I want you guys to really mean it. I feel like he says to mean it. Okay? So like, I will what? Like, if this is your business, right? What do you want? What do you want out of your business? Okay, and we're going to switch it up. Okay? When you guys go and do a cheer, right? Like this, right? Me and Camden did this yesterday together on stage. We were like this, like, I'm victorious, okay? Be proud of your business, okay? So we're going to switch it up. Take your hands here and put them up like this. You're now the king of the world. You're the kings and queens of your business, okay? So don't do what Superman's doing. Kings and queens. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Okay, you guys can sit back down. Okay, so when you guys are networking, okay, when you guys are talking to individuals, I want you guys to remember, I will talk to this person. I will have confidence. I will do this, right? And it makes a massive amount of difference, okay? Now I'm going to move, moving on, telling about my story, okay? Because I want, and all the speakers, they're going to speak very vulnerably to you. As such, I want to start that off, okay? Individuals that tell their story and who they are and where they come from, their strength in that, okay? And so I'm going to tell my story. A few years ago, and a lot of people don't know this story, so I've been really vocal about it on social media when it happened. Telling about it is a whole different story. So a few years ago, I actually went to jail for 4, 5, 6 hours. Perfect. I don't know how to work this. Okay, perfect. So a few years ago, I went to jail for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, and my parents bailed me out. I did something, right, that crossed the line in my life, It was something that I wasn't proud of. It was something that I felt shame about. It was something that I shouldn't have done. And so immediately, I did this first point. I took extreme ownership of, oh, there it goes. How do I go back? I don't know how to go back. Right? I took extreme ownership of my actions. I knew exactly what I did, and I knew it had crossed the line. And so I said, you know what? Yeah, I feel shame. I wasn't supposed to do this. This is not right. And I took extreme ownership. So this is point number 1. So if you guys are taking notes, I want you guys to understand the concept of extreme ownership, okay? If you guys haven't read this book, it's incredible. It's about 2 Navy SEALs and their experience going through war, but then they talk about it in a business sense as well, and how each person on a team goes through, right, trials and tribulations and all that stuff as a team at business. Honestly, best book. It's my, when I go on long car rides, it's my podcast, or my book, audio book that I listen to. Best thing ever. So I took extreme ownership of my actions, right? I knew what I did was wrong. I took extreme ownership. And surprisingly, there were some other reasons for doing this too, but I called the cops on myself. And that surprised a lot of people. But I knew that situation that I was in, I didn't want to be in anymore. And so I called the cops to get me out of that situation. Little did I know that it was going to, right, put me in a situation where I wore an ankle monitor for 45 days, where I was in and out of the courtroom for every other month, where I was paying thousands of dollars of attorney fees and court fees and drug tests, every other month. And I had these options in my life. Now I want to equate this to entrepreneurship, okay? You guys are here. You guys chose to be here. You guys chose to buy a ticket and come here on a Friday, right, and use your own time here. I want you guys to take extreme ownership of your business and understand that life is about 10% what happens and 90% how we respond to it. I had options in that moment to react differently, right? And I chose to react the way I did. Was it the right choice? No, right? I took extreme ownership, and I felt shame and guilt for what I did. But I had now had another choice to make. How is this going to affect my future? How is this choice going to influence what I become? Okay? So in your guys' business, you're going to have to take extreme ownership of your business. And your business is going to succeed or fail on your guys' shoulders. And that's a really harsh reality, because if you're starting a business and you're like, okay, cool, I want to start this, I want to do this. Okay, great. It's all on you until you have a team to work with and all this stuff. And still, right, your leadership, it's on you, right? And so these next 2 days, I truly want you guys to understand this concept of extreme ownership. If you guys come here and sit the entire time, that's fantastic. You've learned speakers, you've heard from them, you've gained their knowledge, that's great. But there's a whole other aspect of networking, of talking to people, of learning what other people do that you need to take advantage of as well, okay? So you guys get a choice. You guys get to choose in what you guys want to do. You guys can sit here and listen to the speakers. I would listen to Jess Tolson all day long, Sam Tiger all day long. But I understand that my business relies on talking to, Rev Road out there, or my business relies on me talking to, ad push out here, because I need Facebook ads. I know what I need in my business, okay? So you're here to grow your business, okay? And so it's up to you. You guys can sit here and listen, go out there and network. Just understand that you take extreme ownership for your business. It's all on you, okay? So I had 2 choices in this moment, okay? So there I was in the back of a cop car. I was driving home, and I had no idea what my future held. I met with attorneys. I met with some of my attorney friends that were in my ward. Miraculously, I met up with one of my dad's old friends, and he was like a court judge and a defense attorney and all that stuff, and he was an attorney for pro bono, which was such a blessing. And I think I constituted to me just being positive throughout that whole situation. I could have easily gone down this spiral of despair and hurt and depression, and my life sucks, and it just goes down and down to hell. And it's like, cool, well, where's my life going to end up now? But I had a choice. And so I chose to be positive and faithful throughout that whole time. And so this was from August 15, 2018. I actually went back on Instagram and looked at what I posted from those times, right? That were super, super hard. And I dedicated myself to being positive throughout every situation. And you can ask anyone. You can ask my girlfriend, my family, anyone you want. I try and find the silver lining in any given situation, because there's always something to be learned. There's always something to gain and to learn from, right? You look to the past for knowledge, and you look to the future for success. And that quote has stuck with me, and I have it tattooed on my arm because it means so much to me, because my past, I learned from it. I grew from it. And so in this time, when we were going in and out of the courtroom, I asked my attorney one time, I said, hey, what's the worst case scenario, right? I'm in this situation. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen? And he said, well, given that the event happened in Utah County, which is a little more Mormon, Christian, whatever you want to say, than Salt Lake County, he's like, you'd probably end up in prison for 3 years. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I now have an expectation moving forward. That is the worst case scenario. And it only can get better from there. And so anytime that I went to the courtroom, anytime that I talked to an attorney, anytime I did this, I knew it could only get better. And I was positive. I said, look, it's going to turn out. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And in that time, I actually was applying to come to UVU to get my master's degree. And I was like, man, I have no idea where my future holds. And I think we've all been there. I have no idea what this business is going to turn into. I have no idea. I have no idea that this business is going to be, grow or sold or hire an employee or just be a little side hobby that I do. We don't know. But if we put in faith and are positive in what we're doing, right, it's going to make all the difference in your business. So one of the challenges that I'm going to challenge you guys with, this is number 2, be faithful and be positive and have faith. Number 2 that I want to challenge you guys is find the silver lining in every little thing, right? You guys get to make a sale that day, celebrate that. You guys close a deal on some marketing agency, or you make this, celebrate that. When you guys are first starting a business, celebrate every little thing you can, because building that morale makes the world of a difference, okay? So this was my goal for the next 45 days. I was going to exuberate positivity, not negativity. And so that was really hard. The third thing, or not the third thing, I'm going to sub-point, is find your why and then hold on to it. So I, during this time, right, going back to the situation, I said, look, I don't know what I'm going to do, but my why is I want a successful future. And successful is different for everyone, whether that's monetary, whether that's happiness, whatever that is. And I said, this is not my defining moment. This is not who I am, and this is not going to define my life. Yeah, I can tell the story, and I can learn from it, and I can grow from it, but this event isn't going to put me in the cycle of moving downward. It's going to be something that propels my life, and it's going to move me forward. And my goal was to make an impact in the world and find my why, and I held on to that with everything I possibly could. The next thing, so this is point number 3, and this is so important and why you guys are here today too, is use every resource available to you. So when all this happened, this event, that landed me in jail actually got me fired from a corporate job that I loved. I thought this was my end-all, be-all. I thought that was it. I was like, this is it. This is great. This is fantastic. And it got me fired. 2 months later, I was working at Texas Roadhouse being a waiter, and I've always wanted to try being a waiter. I don't know, I like talking to people, and I thought it'd be fun. And 2 months later, I got fired from that job too, because of this whole thing. So here I am, thought I was living life great, and then I got fired from both my jobs. So now I'm like, well, now this sucks. Now I'm starting down this despair thing. I'm like, no, I have to be positive. So I was like, okay, what resources, and this is something that we teach to people all over the world, is what talents and hobbies and resources do you have that you can form into a business? And so I was like, man, okay, going back to when I was younger, I was a swim coach. I taught private swim lessons. I can rake leaves. I can mow lawns. I can paint, stuff on the sidewalk. I can, all these resources and businesses that you can do as side things to make money, right? I tried it all. I remember I passed out flyers to rake leaves, and what I didn't realize is that people would take my flyer, have all the leaves fall, and then call me at the end of the season. And I spent one Saturday at someone's house all day because they just left all their leaves. I probably had like 20 bags, 30 bags of leaves because they just left it. But I used what I had, right? And eventually I hooked up with a friend of mine that had a window washing company. And so there I was in August washing windows. I had an ankle monitor on my ankle for the 45 days, and I was wearing long pants because he said, you can keep your job if you hide, the ankle monitor. And I said, all right, cool. So I was wearing pants. I was wearing 2 pairs of socks to hide it, and it was blistering hot. But I needed money, right? I needed to get out of that situation. So I used literally every resource possible. I applied for jobs. They'd find out about, the whole thing, let me go. I'd do this, let me go. And it was just this cycle that I was in of how do I get out of this? And so eventually, right, I got my way out, and I got my bearings straight on everything. So when you guys are starting your business and you're like, man, I don't have money to pay my employees, right? Or I don't have money to pay this ad agency. Or I don't have this, right? Resources like this conference, or talking to individuals out here, or LinkedIn, that's what you need to use every resource possible, right? Don't sit by and be like, oh, I don't need that. I can't tell you, this event would not have been possible if I wasn't active on LinkedIn, or I wasn't active on social media, or I wasn't actively talking to people that I wanted to network with, right? If you guys want to network, there's Tacos Together out there, amazing. They have networking events pretty much every single month, right? And it's like, I want to talk, I want to network. And so put yourself in situations where you guys can use those resources, right? There's resources out there. RevRoad is a massive resource of everything you guys need. The Business Resource is huge. If you need sales training, sales training, right? They're all here at this conference. Whatever you guys need, we've tried to put here, okay? So that's the third thing, is use every resource possible. So networking events, school resources, RevRoad. And then when I was in college, I did this a lot, and it got me in the door. And I don't know because I used the, hey, I'm in college door, but I did informational interviews with people all the time. Hey, I'm a college student. I want to come interview you about this job or, your position, and tell me more about it. I did that all the time. And what was cool about that is I learned about their position and things about the business that I didn't know before. And so even as, you're starting your entrepreneurship journey, I'd be like, okay, how do I, go talk to Accelerate Development and be like, hey, I want to develop an app, but I don't know the right lingo to talk. I don't know what to say to convey what I need to convey to this people, right, to this company. What do you suggest, right? It's a simple question, but it makes the world of a difference when you're developing an app to say, oh yeah, I want this coding, or I want this, I want to use it here. It makes all the difference, okay? So use every resource possible given to you, okay? So the 3 things are extreme ownership, be positive and have faith, and then use every resource possible, okay? And I want these just so ingrained in your system, okay? So extreme ownership, it's going to fall on your shoulders. It's going to fall on you to be successful or not. That's it, right? If you want to be successful, it's you, right? There's resources out there to help you, but you have to be positive, have faith, understand that you can do hard things, and there's people that are here to help you, right? This event, and I was telling someone this, I feel overwhelmingly grateful for everyone that's been a sponsor, been a volunteer, helped you guys attending. It's very surface level right now because I got this from my mom, is I'm emotional. And so I'm like, okay, it's very surface level. I can't think on it too much because I'm just so grateful for everyone to be here and to volunteer and do this stuff. So when you guys start your business, just show appreciation and gratitude for everything that people are helping you along the way. The last thing I want to leave with you is I want to tell you about Interweave Solutions a little bit, okay? So, okay, great. You can just keep it on that, yeah. So Interweave Solutions was kind of what I do right now. I'm the director of operations at Interweave Solutions, and we teach people how to start and grow their own business all over the world, right? Like I said, I've been to Africa 7 times or 7 times this year already, training people on how to do this. And when it first got started, we realized, or the co-founders realized, that we can train people on business, right? We can teach them a course. We can give them the knowledge that they need to be self-reliant. We can give them everything. But there's still this white knight mentality, right? I'm going to come in from America and I'm going to save you guys from this, right? They don't need saving. They're very smart and happy people. And so what we've done is we've created what we call a Masters of Business in the Streets course, where we teach them how to be self-reliant. They learn everything from price, process, plan, promotion, everything that they need to be successful in their own business. Now we're talking, if you guys have been to a third world country, we're talking buying and selling rice or corn on the street. We're not talking VC rounds. We're not talking anything like that. And the question that I've often contemplated is, can someone take our course in America and be successful at it? And so this conference is kind of a test, if you will, because I wanted to see if people, right, want to learn the very basics, want to learn how to be successful, right? You have a product, but how do you know that you're making a profit? Well, I'm getting money in every day. I'm making a profit. Yeah, but you also travel 4 hours to pick up your product, and the gas it takes you to get that, and you come back, you're not making a profit, bro. Right? And so we've had to teach that to them. And then we realized, okay, we've had 50,000 people take this Masters of Business in the Streets course, which is great. It's a self-reliance course. It truly helps them become self-reliant. And we say, okay, cool. Well, me and the co-founders can't be everywhere around the whole world. I'm not going to travel 365 days teaching this course to everyone. Don't get me wrong, that'd be actually really cool. But I'm not going to do that, right? I have family and I have my job and other things. So we're like, okay, how can we do this? So we train people in the field on how to train this course. So they become a Masters of Business in the Streets graduate, and then they become a Success Ambassador. So a Success Ambassador is someone that teaches this course to other people. So we give them a business in a box, right? We give them marketing materials, we give them coaching, we give them everything that they need to be successful in their own MBS training business. They can charge whatever they want. We don't take any income from it. They can give it away for free as long as they're making income, right? And it's really nice because we've been blessed with an endowment that covers all of the overhead costs. So the building, the salaries, everything, it covers that. So anytime we get donations from people, we give it straight back to the hands that need it most, our Success Ambassadors. And we don't give it in the form of clothing. We don't give it in the form of shoes or anything like that, right? We send them money and say, we want you to record and send in an application and tell us how you taught this course to your community. And so it's really people in that community helping others in their communities. And it's this perpetual system of people helping other people. And that's truly one of the values that I stand by. Is as you guys start your guys' business, I want you guys to give back. A mentor of mine, his name's Jim Ritchie, and he was an advisor when I was on Enactus, and he talks about this formula. He retired at age 35 and talks about this formula and how he was able to do it, and he got this advice from David O. McKay, and it translated down, and amazing, amazing man. And I won't go through the formula, but if you want to look it up, it's called Launching Leaders. It's this course about how to improve yourself and be a better leader. I encourage you all to do that, regardless. But the very last thing of his formula is to give back. And so I encourage you guys in your businesses, right, give back. Not necessarily Interweave Solutions, that's not what I'm saying, but any way you can, right? Any possible way that you want to give people the opportunity to learn, the opportunity to gain experience, the opportunity to, right, experience what you have, right? You've been given this. Russell Brunson says this. He's like, I've been given this platform and this knowledge to create ClickFunnels, and I want to give back. And so that's so inspirational. So the three things, again, to reiterate, right? Extreme ownership, being happy and positive, and have faith, and then use all resources. And I'm going to add a fourth in there that I think is so, so important, and it's give back. And so today, I want you guys to focus on those four things, okay? Will you guys do that? Can you guys do that? So right now, I want you guys to commit to that. And when you guys commit to it, I want you guys to say, I will, like kind of like we just did before, right? At the very start. Okay? So on the count of three, I want them, I think Willie the Wolverine's out there. I want him to hear it. Okay? He's in the hallway. And so I want him to hear this, okay? So what you guys are committing to is doing those four things, okay? Extreme ownership, being positive, using every resource, and then giving back, okay? Interweave Solutions has a booth out there. We're actually, if you guys donate, we're giving away free Echo Dots or something like that. So feel free. We have them. But, okay, so on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I will. Okay, that was sad. Hold on. We're gonna redo this again. That's all you're saying is I will. Okay? I'm gonna have you guys stand up again because I want everyone to hear. This is like a commitment to yourself. Okay? This isn't for me. If you guys don't do this, it's on you. Okay? I care about each one of you. Truly, I care about you guys' business, and so does Camden. But this is on you. Okay? So ready? 1, 2, 3. I will. Okay, excellent. Thank you guys. Just tools.